Hello students, this is Shankar. I am your polity faculty. Let us try to understand the powers of president in today's lecture. Okay? Powers of the president of India. Okay? The president of India is the head of the state of the Republic of India. Please understand the point. It is not just India but the Republic of India. Republic of India. The President is the formal head of the executive, legislature, and judiciary of India, and he is also the Commander in Chief of the Armed Forces. Commander in Chief. This might be your one mark questions. Please remember this point. Of the who is the Commander in Chief of Indian Armed Forces? They might ask you like this. Okay. Going to the next point. The President of India is indirectly elected by an electoral college composed of the elected members of the both houses of the parliament. Please try to understand the point. The President of India is elected indirectly through the electoral college. Okay. Article 53 of the Indian Constitution says that Indian states the President can exercise his powers directly or by subordinate authority. Okay, what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is the President can exercise his power directly or through an All India Services members. Through them it can be executed their powers. Clear? And by the subordinate authorities. All executive functions of the government of India shall be carried out on behalf of the name of the President, and executive action shall be expressed to be taken in his name. See, try to understand the executive action, whatever the government of India takes, it is in the name of the President of India. Clear? He holds the supreme command of the defense forces of the Indian Union and has the power of declaring war or making peace. Clear? If at all there is a war between the China and India, then the declaration of peace will be rested with the President of India. On behalf of the President of India, we will make the peace agreement. Clear? Now let us try to understand the types of President powers. These might be several types are present. Let us try to understand each one individually. But before that, let us enumerate all the powers in different categories. Okay. First one is the executive power, legislative power, financial powers, judicial powers. This is important. Diplomatic powers, military powers, and emergency powers. This is most important of all. Now let us try to understand each of the category individually and in depth. Executive powers of the President of India. For every executive action that the Indian government takes, it is to be taken in his name. Okay? It is to be taken in the name of the President of India. He may or may not make rules to simplify the transaction of business of the central government. But whatever we take, it is in the name of the President of India, like as we discussed earlier. He appoints the Attorney General and Election Commissioner, Union Public Service Commissioner, and COG chairman, and everyone he is appointed in the central government is through the President of India. He requires PM to submit for consideration of the Council of Ministers any matter on which a decision has been taken by a minister but which has not been considered by the Council. See, what is it means is the individual ministers, instead of taking the individual decisions, it is through the Council of Ministers, and the Prime Minister is responsible for submitting the report to the President of India. Okay. He requires the PM to submit for the consideration of the Council of Ministers any matter on which decision has been taken. Now we will see the legislative powers of the President of India. He summons and dissolves the Lok Sabha. Summons means prorogues, and summons means he calls the Lok Sabha into the session, and prorogue means prorogue means a budget session. The session will be delayed for some time and dissolves for the కట్ చేయరా అక్కడ ఎడిటింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు. He summons or prorogues Parliament and dissolves the Lok Sabha. Dissolving the Lok Sabha means there is no Lok Sabha for the time being, and the next Lok Sabha is within the next 6 months after the session, first session. That is known as the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. Okay. He summons the joint sitting of the Rajya Sabha in case of a deadlock. Okay, clear? He addresses the Indian Parliament at the commencement of the first session and after every general election. His prior recommendation or permission is needed to introduce certain types of bills in the Parliament. For example, a bill involving expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India. See, what is meant by Consolidated Fund of India? Consolidated Fund of India means it is the fund present with the President of India, and he only can make use of that. For example, salaries for the Supreme Court judges are given from the Consolidated Fund of India, are one of the examples. Alteration of boundaries or creation of new states should be the recommendation of the President of India. Clear? When a bill is sent to the President after it has been passed by the Parliament, what he can do? He can give his assent, that is very clear. Withhold his assent to the bill, that is known as pocket veto. Pocket veto and return the bill if it is not a money bill for reconsideration of the Parliament. Money bills cannot be returned like that. He must and should approve the money bills. Clear? Now let us see more legislative powers. He prorogues and the ordinances. He promotes the ordinances that lays the following reports before the Parliament. What and all the reports that he lays before the Parliament? Let us see. Comptroller and Auditor General, Union Public Service Commission reports, and the Finance Commission reports. Let us see the financial powers of the President of India. To introduce the money bills, his prior permission is must. As we discussed in the money bill, that cannot be withheld and permission is required. Prior permission of the President of India is required for the money bills. He causes the union budget to be laid before the parliament. All the union budgets can be laid before the parliament by the President of India. To make a demand for the grants, his commendation is a prerequisite. His recommendation is a prerequisite. Okay. Demand for grants is one of the important in the budget. Demand for grants means each ministry has its own budget allocation. That budget allocation is through the demand for the grants. It is through the demand for the grants. Clear? Contingency Fund of India is under control. What is meant by Contingency Fund of India? Only for the emergency situations it can be used. Like for example, for the disaster management, it can be used. That type of fund is known as the Contingency Fund of India. We are discussing the financial powers of the President of India. Now let us understand the judicial powers of the President. These are the very important powers of the President. Appointment of the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court, High Court judges are on him or through him. The President of India appoints the Supreme Court Judge, Chief Justice of India, as well as the High Court judges. He takes advice from the Supreme Court, however, the advice is not binding on him. Not binding means it is not compulsory for the President of India to follow the guidance given by the Supreme Court. He has pardoning power under Article 72. Article 72. He has been conferred with power to grant pardon against punishment for an offence against union law, punishment by a martial court or death sentence. One of the best examples is death sentence. If at all anybody is having the death sentence, they can be avoided through the pardoning power of the President of India. Diplomatic powers of the President. The international treaties and agreements are negotiated and concluded on behalf of the President of India. International agreements as well as the treaties and agreements, they are subject to the approval of the Parliament. They are subject to the approval of the Parliament. He represents India in international forums and affairs and sends and receives diplomats like ambassadors, like high commissioners, and so on. What is this meaning? The diplomatic powers involves the President of India to be taken from the international affairs, and this international affairs నా డిస్టర్బెన్స్గా ఉంది మీరు అలా చేస్తుంటే. ఓకే, ఒకసారి ఆఫ్ చేయరా. The diplomatic powers of the President of India is elaborated so many. he can send the ambassadors and the high commissioners to the other countries through his diplomatic powers. At the same time, he will receive the diplomats from the other countries as well as the high commissioners from the other countries. Military powers. He is the supreme commander of the armed forces or defense of India that has the capacity. Okay. He is the supreme commander of the defense forces of India. In that capacity, what he would do? He appoints the chiefs of the army, navy chief and air force chief. He can declare war. He can declare a war and conclude peace subject to the approval of the parliament. Okay. It is subjected to the approval of the parliament. Emergency powers of the President of India. These are very most important topic. Please let us see this one in with detailed attention. Okay. Emergency powers of the President. What are all they? He deals with the three types of emergencies given in the Indian Constitution. What and all the three types of emergencies? National emergency, Article 352. President's rule, Article 356 and 365. Financial emergency, Article 360. Please remember these points. These are the one of the important question. These are the one of the important question for your examination. Article 352 deals with the national emergency. Article 356 deals with the president rule, whereas the Article 360 deals with the financial emergencies. With this, we concluded the presidential powers and signing off. Thank you.